Howdy, howdy. Welcome back to the Seattle Kraken franchise as we enter year 3. Now, I ended off the video, the live stream last couple days ago, or actually, it'll probably be a couple days ago by the time you see it. I ended off, I had not edited the lines. The lines were still askew. So I went through between episode recordings, and I went ahead and fixed the lines as the way they're going to be going into the season. So this is your Stanley Cup defending champion, Seattle Kraken, from top to bottom. Our first line is practically unchanged. 2/3 of it stayed the same, with Cirelli and Anderson being the center and right winger. We do have a new left winger, though, in Pierre Engvall. He replaces Anthony Beauvillier, who we traded in the offseason during that live stream to go ahead and get a little value for him before he fell down a little bit. I felt like he was maybe going to be due for a drop in potential. So I moved him in the offseason before that drop in potential occurred. And right now, Pierre Engvall sits as an 81 overall. And the reason I went with Engvall over other options is I liked his passing and deking, his ability to make a play on that wide side. I felt like was an asset. Plus, he can take center in a pinch, so he gives us some versatility, which is something I really, really like. He's a guy who could play first line, second line, or fourth line with little to no issue, so I can juggle them around as needed. So that's a good thing for me to have going into this. No, okay, that's good. All right, so second line is the same as it was last year. We re-signed Pavel Zacha to a big boy contract a little bit. He wanted 4 years at $5 million or 5.5. We kind of talked him down to $5 million. So 4 years, $5 million. We're still comfortably under cap. We brought back Max Domi on a 4-year deal as well. Or actually, I'm sorry, a 2-year deal. That's right. I looked at him before re-signs and he wanted a 4, and then he just wanted a 2 whenever we got to the actual re-sign stage. And then Duclair has been signed. Basically now our captain is Anthony Duclair, 87 overall, so really, really firing on all cylinders. Accuracy on both his shots is right up there at 90. The power is right up there at 86. Basically a guy that essentially could be a score for us, and the speed is really, really nice. So very happy with that. We kind of I thought that might be a bum signing year one with the previous coach we had, but since we've installed our current coach, Rawlings, Duclair has blossomed. We can take a look at his stats. First year with us, I mean, he didn't have a bad year at all. He started off very slow though and caught on near the end of the season. And then last year didn't really do different in the regular season, but where he really kicked it off and became the Conn Smythe winner was in the playoffs. 19 points in 25 games, just was a beast all year long from top to bottom. So really had a good year and is deservedly an 87 overall. And on our second line, Adam Earn is going to attempt to be our first James Neal replacement. He's a guy who actually doesn't really fit 100% well on this third line, but I don't want to put him in the top 6 unless I have to due to injury. But the nice thing about him is he could be a nice injury replacement, especially on the second line if Zacha got hurt, because Zacha's a power forward and so is Adam Earn. So if, just for an example, this drops to a +3, but it's still a nice chemistry. Or if I really wanted to go, if Zacha got hurt, I could go this route and flip that around. So there are lots of different things I can do to keep the power forward set comfortable. I like this line, though. This is going to be one of our top lines. And then Earn joins Noel Acciardi, who's a guy who I kind of accidentally signed, but I'm not unhappy about it. I signed him originally to actually be an AHL guy because he was wanting fourth line, and I didn't look at the fact that his contract, he wanted $1.9 million. So I essentially picked up a good veteran for our bottom 6 and a guy who also can take penalties and can take penalties for us. So that's another good thing for us. Good all-around player, solid third liner. Could play any of the top 3 lines, so that's a nice thing as well. So if we lose, say, Cirelli or Domi or even Duclair or somebody on the right side or the center spot. Chardy can jump in there and play. And then Hinostroza is still there on the third line as our resident playmaker. On the fourth line, we've called up Dryden Hunt. He has made the jump enough to where he can be a bottom six forward for us. He'd rather be a line two forward, but I don't want to move him that high up, mainly because that'll screw with the chemistry a little bit, and I'll show you real quick. Basically drops it to a +3 if he plays left side or right side. But again, another guy that if we have injuries in the top six, a guy who can move up, and play in that top six if needed for a short period of time. Jankowski comes back as our fourth line centerman and PK, one of our PKers. A guy who would prefer to be first line, but he's not good enough to be first line. No offense, Mark. You're a very good fourth line center for us. And then Joshua Hosang drops a line, mainly because of the signing of a Chardy. I felt like a Chardy was a better bet, and I wanted a good face-off guy on that third line as well. And Hosang, although he lists as a center-capable player, 65 face-offs is not going to cut it. I like his playmaking skill, though. I don't want him out of the lineup, so he's going to fall to the fourth line. Fourth line does not have has even-up chemistry, but right now I feel like if you look at us top to bottom, we're actually a little bit better in the overall categories than we were last year. We did have some 79s kind of floating around this bottom six area, and now we pretty much made it to where the minimum we go at this point, minus any morale bumps, is an 80 overall. So that's a good little we've managed to get a little bit better, even though we already won the Stanley Cup, so that's a good thing. Defensively, this is where we get a little interesting. You'll notice we have quite a few pieces coming back. Dumba we had to re-sign in the offseason. We re-signed him for 5x3, $5 million a year. $5 million a year for 3 years. Morgan Riley's still here. Shane Gothenspier had to re-sign as well. We re-signed him to a 3-year deal at $6 million. Stephen Johns is in the last year of his deal. Logan Stanley is a guy who's growing into his own. He's going to hopefully get to that top 4 area sooner rather than later. And we picked up a veteran in Keith Yandel. Now, he did drop off from top 4 to top 6 potential in the offseason. However, I was kind of anticipating that with his advanced age. And if you look, his shooting stats are still really good. He's got 90s and 80 and low 80s for accuracy. And his passing and deking and whatnot are still very, very good. He's still got good speed. He's still got ability to play at a high level. In fact, I could even potentially, honestly, use him at a forward spot if I had to. I wouldn't want to, but if I had injuries come up, I could bump him into a forward role and not feel like I'd miss a beat with those stats. And his durability is still pretty good at an 89 as far as durability. So I paired him up with Logan Stanley, who is very, very physical at this point. 6'7", 238, a big boy. Not the greatest passer. So basically he and Yandel kind of get along. He's the passer and the veteran. He's the young guy and the guy who likes to just punch people in the face. And so hopefully those two guys can, maybe Yandel can help us out. We didn't sign him to a long-term deal. We essentially basically traded in Mark Giordano, who we traded for at the trade deadline, to pick up Keith Yandel for this year. He's a little expensive at 5.2, but we do have the cap space to where I felt like we could withstand that. No big deal there. Special teams wise, this is our power play. Not going to go into too much detail, but Yandel's going to play first line power play. Gothenspier is going to play second line just to kind of help keep these overalls down here a little boosted. Engvall shows up on the power play now, as well as Noel Achardi, a guy who I picked up again kind of by accident, but he's a guy who's going to fill in on penalty kill and on power play. Penalty kill, Noel Achardi leads the penalty kill with Jankowski. Engvall is going to take penalty kill on second line with Dryden Hunt. Depending on how well that goes, because he is a first-line centerman, so that kind of worries me a little bit. I may change that. I may put Jankowski down there and try and put in another winger from my bottom six to play in the penalty kill, but we'll see how it goes. But for right now, I want to get guys as much as I can that fit the penalty kill strategy to try and get those bonuses. And goalies, we still have the same 2 goalies. Freddie Anderson, we re-signed Aiden Hill in the offseason to, I believe, a 2-year deal. I believe it was. Yeah, 2 years, about $2 million. Good deal. He had a good year last year backing up Freddie Anderson, so I have no problem with that at all. And our scratch players currently are Patan, who comes back to us on a $1 million deal. Galchenyuk is a guy we signed in the offseason. He was a guy who I was going to leave in the AHL, but he's really good. I may still change that between now and before waiver claims start, because I would like him to we have a playmaker already here in Patan, so one of those two guys could essentially make the drop down to the AHL. But what I felt like is basically it's going to come down to between which one of these two would I rather keep up here. Galchenyuk does have the shooting capabilities and better face-offs, I believe. No, Patan's a better face-off man. Not better offensively, a little bit faster. It's kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I like the bigger body of Galchenyuk versus Patan, so it'd be something where I'd have to figure out who would come up from the AHL. And Michael Del Zotto is a guy we signed in the offseason. He's going to be our 7th defenseman coming up. Just kind of a good balance guy. Veteran presence on the bench. Didn't sign him for too much, 1.15 over a year, so we didn't spend a lot for him. But he'll be a good guy for us. And then in the AHL, this roster changed a lot. There's not a lot of people that are still left on this roster. There are some you will recognize, though. Excuse me. Atu Rati is going to anchor our first line center in the AHL. He's the kid we drafted now 2 years ago at the first round, 14th overall. 6th overall was Grachev in our first draft. Gauding makes a comeback. He almost made the NHL roster, but due to us signing Noel Acciardi, he ended up bumping back down to the AHL. So maybe in a year or two he can take Noel Acciardi's spot. Michael Del Call, a guy who I always have a soft spot for whatever reason, mainly because he was a top 5 pick in 2014, so he's kind of a bust at this stage of his career. But I like grabbing him just because, maybe he can turn into something. I doubt it very seriously, but good guy for the AHL at this point, and somebody who I can maybe call up in a pinch. Jujhar Khaira, our playoff hero from the first season and from part of the second season as well. Nolan Stevens is a newcomer. Power forward I signed to kind of just basically fill out the AHL. A lot of these guys down here, with the exception of Giovanni Smith, who's a guy I drafted, and Ilya Petrov, a low elite guy who I drafted in 2021 in the 5th round, who has just skyrocketed to an 80 overall. I'm going to have a hard time keeping him in the AHL, quite honestly, but the thing that scares me about him, the 80 speed. I really would like that speed to go up, but if you look at some of his other stats, his deking and hand-eye are ridiculous. His wrist shot accuracy is ridiculous. So if he takes any sort of shots at the net, especially close-up wristers, they will probably find their way in the net, and I think that's a good thing for us in the AHL. And eventually in the NHL, I'm going to have to find a home for this guy, which I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'll figure out a way. McCarron makes a comeback. Giovanni Smith makes a comeback as well. So we've got Sniper going with a power forward and a grinder on this third line. And then we saw veteran Tom Kunackle, a two-way forward who's basically solid across the board. Nothing spectacular. Adam Brooks, a good centerman, and Ryan Poling. Down here, I tried to go with guys that can play multiple positions, particularly center, so that way I have a lot of flexibility. And this guy, Janssen Falby, I'm probably butchering that pronunciation. I just liked his look and his name, honestly. That's why I picked him up. But still a good player. 77 overall, two-way forward. Got some good stats across the board. Needs some work, but he's 24 years old with some potential. Defensively, Ian Mitchell was a guy I had signed to be a backup defenseman for us, but then he shot up the top 6, and I don't have room in the top 6 for him right now. So he's currently in the AHL, and probably not happy about it. Peak and Saria Harvey. Wow, I'm butchering some names today. Round out the second pair, and then Jet Wu jumped to a 79 in the offseason. Not quite ready for prime time action, but at 22 years old, it's only a matter of time. I'm hoping with him by the time we get to next year, he will be ready to take Stephen Johns' role as Stephen Johns moves on. That's what I'm hoping for. And then Allard, a top 6 defenseman, still growing a little bit, 24 years old, taking his time, but hopefully he doesn't drop in potential any. Hopefully he maintains that top 6. Be a good guy to maybe become maybe a 7th D, or maybe somebody who could play top 4 in a lesser role as far as, playing with somebody that would, as far as his player preference goes. We'll have to see how he works in the NHL if he'd be a good guy for us. But This is our AHL squad. Not really worried too much about showing you that stuff. Ingram's been disappointing. He has not gone up since I've drafted him. He's been stuck at a 79 overall. I have a feeling that potential is going to start to drop here in the next year or so to a fringe starter or backup even. Rodriguez still growing. However, we do have, I believe in the mix, we have gone to go sign a goalie mainly because Rodriguez listed as an other goalie. So he technically could still sit the bench and be our emergency goalie. So, yes, I do have a contract offered. Let's see. Approached. Scott Wedgwood is the guy I went after, a veteran backup guy. I went after him, I believe, on a one-year deal. That's at league minimum. So, if he signs, that's a little bit better of a backup situation than we had with Scott Darling last year. And then Rodriguez can be that third goalie if it comes in case of injury or call up or injury either at the NHL level or at the AHL level. So that pretty much fills us out. We're about 10 million under cap, almost 11 actually, about 10.9. Yeah, 10.9 under cap. So if we had to make a trade or boost our budget a little bit in a push for a playoff spot, we are in a position to do it. We're not at the cap floor, so we don't have to worry about our budgets getting adjusted accordingly. And I feel like we've got a really good NHL team that could honestly be in line to repeat. So what we'll do is we will stem to the regular season, and we will ignore all these trades. Okay, there's Wedgwood coming in. I will put him in as soon as I am able. Colin White, that's interesting, but I don't have room for him. Plus, I don't think he fits. Okay, you didn't take him out, so keep him going. Okay, so, yep, we're salary cap compliant. Waivers. Stop the simulation on that. Okay, so now what I want to do is I'm going to look at roster moves because I think what I'd like to do is who's in the system as a forward that be depth. So Brooks, DeCall, that's all my depth, huh? Everybody else is, yep, okay. So Brooks or DeCall, would I call up, Brooks is limited in the fact that he's a center, but he's a good center. And yeah, I mean he could be up here as a true center. DeCall would be a left winger. Probably would only be able to, honestly would only be able to replace what's his face, Declare, if I called him up. So I'd be a little bit more free in swapping Brooks around versus DeCall. Or I can keep the way I've got and have maximum. I'm gonna keep it the way I have because these are 78 overalls. The two guys I have up top are 79s. I'd rather keep the higher overalls up here. So we will not change. I thought about changing our bottom end guys, our depth guys, one of these two, and moving them down to the AHL. But it would be smart to keep these guys. Plus, with Galchenyuk being left wing and center, and then Patan being a right wing center, we've got basically we can fill in anywhere with these guys. So that's actually not a bad setup. So we're gonna keep it that. We're going to leave it the way it is, and then we're going to go in and let's go ahead and finish the sim to the regular season. Do I need to assign? Let's see where you're going to go. Okay, you're going AHL North Liga, January 20th, January 10th, October 30th. Let's see where everybody is. Let's make sure. Okay, you're in Russia. You're in Liga. You're in SHL. Okay, November 12th. You're in Extra Liga. Hold on. Change region. That should be Europe, I believe. Okay, A plus. Yeah, you don't need to be. You go to Extra Liga, right? No, you're in Extra Liga. Go to NLA. I'm sorry. Go to NLA, and then in NLA, scout specific players. Scout this player. Scout this player, scout this player, and scout this player. And scout this player. There we go. Okay. So, doop. And then you got East, Central, QMJHL. Y'all are scouting guys. Good, good, good. WHL, the AHL North. Oh, we got two AHL Norths. Okay, hold on. Nope. Oh, wait. Oh, nope. Not this guy. Not this guy. Not this guy. This guy. Paddock needs to move. So, let's go North America, AHL. A, B. Oh, did I grab him for? I grabbed him for a pro scout, I bet. But I'll do the AHL. I'll do this. What is this? It's the AHL West, or not West, Pacific. Yeah, travel there, and once you get there, scout a group of players, complete entire division, and give me a month. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Petro Pacific. All right, cool. All right, so our scouts are pretty well done. Coaches are good. Rawlings, Biggs, Melikar, Tumanen. So let's see. Do we have any growth here? Okay, we did get better at goalies, so that hopefully will help keep our goalies good or getting better. That will be nice. Our AHL goalie coach is not good, but that could be part of the problem with Connor Ingram. But I'll be changing that in the offseason. In the offseason. All right, so let's go ahead and watch our first home game of Season 3. Let's watch the banner be raised in the rafters and see how we play at home. First game after the Stanley Cup against the team we beat to win the Stanley Cup, Toronto. Just thought of that. We kill off 2 power plays quickly. And Toronto is really mad about that game because they're out shooting us 9-4 right now, 10-4 right now. First power play for us goes nowhere. And it looks like we end the first period. Oh, no, we don't. John Tavares scores with 15 seconds left to put Toronto up 1-0, 14 shots to 5. Toronto is out for blood, I guess. They won the Stanley Cup in this universe's first season. They got back to the Stanley Cup final. I snuck away with the W in 5 games, and I don't think they're happy about that. So here we go, second period. Noel Acciardi, our new signing from the third line, scores on Scott Darling. What? Who? What? Why is Scott Darling in the NHL? Seattle puts another one up. Duclair, second line, scores 2-1. Oh, that's bad for Toronto if they already got a goalie injury. Duclair gets his second goal of the season. Can we get a hat trick for Duclair? The game, pretty much the first season game after he wins the Conn Smythe last year. Can he get a hat trick for us on home ice? That would be so awesome. Still out shooting us 30-18 though. Oh, not over yet. Shore on Anderson. Makes it 3-2. They have put a ton of shots on Freddie Anderson, but Freddie Anderson has been equal to the task. Will we hold out? Can we keep it out? And we do. 3-2. No hat trick for Duclair, but that's okay. I'm not that picky about it. Okay, so that's our first dub of the season. So let's go ahead and do our usual 2-game package. Let's go right to here, and we'll see what happens after that. Shane Gothisbeer has been injured with a concussion. His return is November 11th. So already the injury bug bites us in the booty. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to put Del Zotto on the third line, and we're going to move Yandel to the second line to take over for Gothisbeer, and that's part of the reason for that +5. And shootout, Duclair. Why? No, Del Zotto does not need to be on the. I'll put Yandel on the shootout though, because Yandel's got some skills. Duclair's out there, right? Yeah, Duclair's out there. Nope, none of those guys. Sorelli's not out there. Zaka's not out there. Josh Anderson's not out there. What about what's Sorelli's deking and stuff? Okay, yeah, well, Sorelli can get in there. Substitute. Okay, there we go. Morgan Riley, Hina Stroza, 5th shooter. Can I just get Josh? No, I'll leave him out there. I'll leave Hina Stroza. The shootout's not gonna happen that often. And Vinny, oh no, Jesus. Okay. Also returning November 11th from a separated shoulder. Okay. Let's do this. Let's take and we're gonna put Patan here. And then we're gonna take Hosang and move him up to that third line. And now we gotta make more adjustments. And we're gonna put Zaka, Sorelli, Duclair. Let's put Josh Anderson on this wing, on the three-man lines. Let's go there. Okay. So 3-0, 2. Okay, so no losses anywhere. Okay, so 1-2. Let's go to here. We got 2 AHL games. And man, Jesus. Okay, so the teams are rolling a little bit, I feel like. I should say that. I didn't. Okay. No, not trading anybody. Okay, finally, a game lost. Okay. So that I need to watch. So we can go to here and potentially still not have to replace anybody. Oh, never mind. Yes, we do have to replace somebody. We have to call somebody up. Okay. So let's go goalies. Frederick Anderson getting hurt is going to suck in the system. Let's call up Connor Ingram. And let's go in and edit lines because we're just going to have to. So goalies. I am going to put Aiden Hill as the new starter. Ingram will be the backup. And then and then Rodriguez can stay right there. And we'll put Wedgwood. Wedgwood was sitting, so yeah. Definitely do that. And we... This is ridiculous. Okay, let's watch these next 2 games. Oh, next 1 game because it's 1 game at a time because I may have to bench him. Ingvall's fully healed. I didn't take him out. 6-1 win. We're just cruising. I mean, ridiculously cruising. But we're getting hurt like nobody's business. Jesus. Let's get Galchenyuk in here, and then we'll flip him over to here just to compensate for the left wing part. This is not by far not his favorite spot, but I mean it is what it is. I could do that, but I'd rather keep Galchenyuk down there to help out with passing the puck and around and whatnot. I don't need to trade for anything right now, guys. There is nothing. Oh my lord. Okay. All right. So I can play. I'll jump 2 more games. There's Joshua Hosang is fully healed and available to play. Good deal. Okay. Galchenyuk is going to be replaced by Hosang. And then we're going to flip and put Adam Earn there. And boom. Okay. Okay. I gotta stop for a second. This is okay. We're about a month into the new season, and wow. Okay, so let's take a look-see at team stats. Now you'll probably notice there's a lot of W's in the W column and a lot of zeros in the other column. So we have not been beaten this season to start out. We have 22 points in 11 games. That is as many as you can have. We have scored 4 goals a game, and we have allowed less than 2. Okay, so, yeah, offense is clicking. Defense is clicking. How about the power play? Power play is meh. Penalty kill is solid. Okay. So, really, I mean, I'm not touching anything regardless, even though I'm a little bit, I'd like that to be better. The one part I can't complain about is right here, these 3 numbers. As long as these 3 numbers don't get crazy out of order from the way they are, there is no reason to touch a damn thing except for injuries. So, let's look at points for the players here going into this first month. Sorelli has 6 goals and 8 assists for 14 points. Domi has 10 assists for 13 points with 3 goals. Duclair has 8 goals to lead the squad. Noel Achardi, 5 goals. What an accidental, lovely signing that's been. 5 goals from Ingvall and 12 points in 11 games. That is phenomenal. We have 4 players that are over a point a game. We have 1 player just on the cusp of being a point a game player. Yeah, there is nothing wrong with this team at all. Defenseman. Delzato. Wow, okay, that's good. Delzato, that's what I want out of my 4th defenseman. I want a guy who can come in and who can be productive even though he's going to go back to the bench. Look at this. 9 games, he's got 5 points. He's 3rd on the squad. Basically, he's played as many games as Shane Gostisbehere -2, and he's 3rd on the squad. Johns, I don't expect to score, so that's not a huge deal. Dumba, I would like to see a little more out of. 2 goals and 8 assists for 10 points out of Keith Yen on that second line. I dig that, or at least mostly on the second line, I should say. I really dig that. Logan Stanley, very nice down there on the third line with actually with Delzato. So Delzato and Stanley are proving to be a solid little pairing. So I like that. And then goalie wise, let's see the goalies. Frederick Anderson, 913. Oh my Jesus, Aiden Hill, what the hell did you eat for lunch, son? Oh my God, 5-0, 2 shutouts. 975 save percentage, .73 goals against. Okay, so our boys are serious. Aiden Hill is on top of it. Okay. Tell you what, we're gonna go ahead and call it here at the first month. In the next video, we'll go through another month, maybe 2. See where we're at, but we can't do much better. Okay, let's be honest, we can't do any better than we're currently doing at 11-0. So, and the Burnaby Aces are 9-1, so it's not like they're way off. So apparently we are out for blood in a return trip to the Calder Cup in the AHL and the Stanley Cup final in the NHL, but there's still a lot of season left to play. So if you like this series, give us a like and a subscribe on both Grown Folks and my personal channel. Leave comments wherever you can. It helps make the episodes hopefully better. And until next time, guys, I'll catch you later.